WordPress website setup using DreamHost. Let's get started. What's up everybody? I hope you're having a great day. My name is David, and in this tutorial video, I'm going to walk you through step 1 to step done on how to create a WordPress website using DreamHost. Whether you're already a customer of DreamHost or you're thinking of using them as your web host, I got you covered. In this video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know to get started. I'm going to show you how to get a hosting account, how to get a domain name, how to install WordPress and design your website, as well as a bunch of professional backend settings that you need to know about. So if you're ready to get started, make sure to check the links in the description for timestamps and resources mentioned in this video. So let's begin. Welcome to DreamHost.com. So DreamHost is just one of 2 web hosts recommended by the team behind WordPress. So if we navigate over here to wordpress.org/hosting, we're going to see Bluehost and we're going to see DreamHost. Now, to get started with DreamHost is very easy. All you have to do is click on this big blue Get Started button. Now, it takes you to the package page over here, and DreamHost offers a few different plans. So they have their shared, DreamPress, and VPS. Since we're starting out and we have a brand new website with no traffic and no data and no nothing, the shared plan is more than enough to get started. You can always upgrade your plan later to DreamPress or VPS. Now, the starter plan does only give you 1 website a month. And honestly, once you know how to create a website with WordPress and DreamHost, you're going to want to be able to create multiple websites. So I strongly recommend clicking the little drop down and clicking on shared unlimited websites. Anyways, when you're ready to continue, navigate down the page just a bit and click sign up now. Okay, so we just picked a plan. Now we have to choose a domain name. The reason you have to choose a domain name is because all shared hosting accounts need a primary domain name on the account. Now you can choose a domain name later and it will set up the hosting plan, but you do have to add a domain name at some point. So either A, you can register a new domain name through DreamHost. Why would you do that? Well, they give you a free domain name, 1 free domain name for the first year. After the first year, you have to pay a $20 renewal rate each and every year. Or you can use a domain name register like Namecheap, which has a lower registration cost and also a lower renewal rate. And both provide free WHOIS protection. So if you want to take advantage of a free domain name, by all means, go ahead and register a new domain name, but I use Namecheap for all my domain names, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to click over here. I already have a domain, and I'm going to assign a domain that I own over at Namecheap. So we'll type in vloghow.com. There we go, and click on assign. And that is it. So now you're on the secure checkout page. You can pay with a credit or debit card or PayPal. Now I'm not going to insult your intelligence and walk you through how to buy something online. One thing you do want to pay attention to is over here, you can pay for a monthly plan, yearly plan. And there you go. It's as simple as that. So now we're on the secure checkout page. You can pay with a debit or credit card or your PayPal account. Now, I'm not going to insult your intelligence and walk you through how to buy something online. I hope you understand how to do that. Now, over here is where you want to pay attention to a little bit. You can either pay monthly, yearly, or for 3 years in advance. And then over here you have Dream Shield protection, so we can uncheck that. And that is it. We are good to go. $35 for a shared hosting plan. Very good deal. Domain names and DreamHost. So a domain name at DreamHost costs $8.99 a year. We'll just say $9. And the renewal rate is $20. So domain name registrars and web hosts often offer a lower introduction rates, and then they have a standard renewal rate. If you purchase a shared hosting account through DreamHost, which is what we're doing in this video, you do get a free domain name for the first year. After that first year, you do have to pay a $20 renewal rate. By contrast, you can do what I do and use a dedicated domain name registrar. My registrar of choice is Namecheap.com. So at Namecheap, domain names cost $10 to register and $15 as a renewal rate. Both Namecheap and DreamHost provide WHOIS protection, so your personal information is made private. So it's your website, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to show you how to get a domain name at Namecheap and then how to use that domain name at Namecheap with your shared hosting account over at DreamHost. So let's continue. Okay, so this is Namecheap.com, and this is my primary domain name register of choice, and it's where I get all my domain names from. Now, to get a domain name through Namecheap, all you have to do is type it in right here in the search bar and then click on search. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that and click on search. And there you go. So if your domain name is available, all you have to do is click on add to cart to add it to your cart to purchase it. Now, if it's not available, that means you have to click up top here and type in a different letter combination until something is available. And you can see the price point right there, $10 as the registration rate for the domain name. And the renewal rate with Namecheap is around $15 a year. So $15 compared to DreamHost, $20. So Namecheap is just cheaper for the same exact thing. So anyways, let me go ahead and click add it to cart. And then I will click on checkout. And there you go. So you have the domain name registration over here. With Namecheap, you can register a domain name for up to 10 years in advance. It doesn't have to be year by year like you do with a web host. You get free domain name privacy, which is quite important, which keeps your personal information private, because you do have to submit accurate information when you register a domain name, like your name, email, phone number, and so forth. Domain name privacy just keeps all that information private, and it's completely free with Namecheap, which is another great selling point. Then you have auto renew over here. So that's up to you whether or not you want auto renew on or off. I typically leave it off. Then I make a decision every couple years if I want to renew this domain name or sell it. Anyways, when you're ready, click on confirm order and you are good to go. Welcome to your DreamHost dashboard. So once you log into your account, this is what you're going to be looking at. This is your control panel. Now over here on the left-hand sidebar, you have access to the websites that you've added to your account. And this is where you can manage your websites. Then you have users and files, your SQL database, and secure SSL certificates. And just as a side note, this is why I like DreamHost, because they provide access to things that are a little bit more technical for people who are experienced, but they still keep things simple enough if you're a complete beginner and you have no idea what an SQL database is or what SFTP is and so forth. Over here, you can manage your domain name. So if you took advantage of the free domain name, it'll be over here. And if you want to register domain names directly through DreamHost, you can just navigate to this section right there. Over here, you have WordPress. So you can install WordPress from this spot within the dashboard. Then you have your mail functionality over here. This allows you to create professional emails for your website if you want. So something like hello at your website. Then over here, you have pro services. So these are upsell services that DreamHost offers. Then you have billing and account and support. Let's create a WordPress powered website with DreamHost. So to get started is super simple. We're going to click over here on websites. Then we want to click on manage websites. Now the domain name will pop up right over here. It should look something like this. So if you registered a domain name through DreamHost, this is where it'll appear. If you register a domain name that I already own, like I did, so I got my domain name first at Namecheap, and then I got the shared hosting account and set everything up at DreamHost. So it's going to appear here. If for some reason you chose to skip this, you're not going to see anything over here, and you're going to have to add a website and then add a domain name to be the primary domain name on the account. And that will take probably 20 minutes or so to add onto your account. Not a big deal. So anyways, once your hosting account is set up with a primary domain name, you're good to go. So now we're ready to go ahead and install WordPress on the domain name. Now, how do you do that? Very simple. First step, if you got your domain name at Namecheap, you need to navigate over here to the DNS settings. And right down here, you're going to see NS1, NS2, NS3, DreamHost.com. Now we need to input these into our Namecheap account. Now again, if you registered your domain name through DreamHost directly, you don't have to do this. It's just one tiny little step. It's not a big deal. So anyways, let's take these name servers and you want to navigate over to Namecheap, go to your Namecheap account, and then you want to click on manage. You want to manage for the domain name, which is right over here. Then you want to navigate down where it says name servers. And then you want to select custom DNS. So it should be Namecheap basic DNS. You want to select custom DNS. And now when you input everything, NS1, 2, 3, you have to click this little green check mark. That's all you have to do. And it'll say it'll take up to 48 hours to take effect. So that means like full propagation does take like 48 hours, but your domain name will be functionally usable within 10 minutes max. Like does not take that long. And that is it. That's all you have to do for the first step. And now we're ready to install WordPress. Let's go ahead and install WordPress. So let's navigate over here to the WordPress tab, click the drop down, click on Install WordPress. And over here will be the primary domain name on the account. If you have multiple domain names, you can just click the drop down and select the domain name that you want to install WordPress for. If you click this little advanced tab, this is where you can install WordPress on a specific path. So that would be something like if you want to install one content management system on like website.com and then have WordPress power website.com/blog. We don't want to do that. We want to install WordPress on the root domain name. So we're going to leave that blank and let's just click install. All right, so now you have select a site purpose for a guided WordPress install. I'm going to click none because I know what I'm doing. And then we click on next. Now you have two plugins over here. So you have the Super Cache plugin, very good plugin that helps the performance of your website. And then the DreamHost panel login, which I really like because this allows you to log in to your WordPress website from your DreamHost account. So I definitely would keep this active. It's just very convenient. So anyways, go ahead and click on install. And it's as simple as that. So grab a cup of coffee, wait a few minutes for WordPress to finish installing. And there we go. So it's just been a few minutes and WordPress has finished installing. Now, because we installed that plugin that allows us to log in from our control panel, all you have to do is click on this WordPress auto login button right there, and it should log you into your website. And that is it. Welcome to your WordPress dashboard. So there's a few things that we do need to do right now. Now, first off, you may have this WP Super Cache warning right here. If you just installed this, you can just dismiss this message, which we did. So I will click on dismiss. And over here, you're using an auto-generated password for your account. Would you like to change it? And so we can do that by navigating to our profile page. So I'll click over here and I'll show you actually how to do that within your dashboard. So anyways, let me give you a quick tour of WordPress. So over here are where you publish your blog posts. And your blog posts have to be organized into categories, which are right here. You also have tags within WordPress. Tags are just like really kind of more niche specific topics. So maybe your category is something like a website builder, but then your tag would be Squarespace, or your category is cars and your tag would be, Ford, whatever. Something like that is how you want to structure things. Now your media is where you'll see your library of all your images that you've uploaded to your site. Pages are for items that are quite static and don't require being changed at all, like something like an about page, a contact page, something that doesn't make any sense to organize into a category. That's what a page is. Then you have comments, then appearances, the themes, plugins are additional pieces of software you can add onto your website. Users is where you can log in, or sorry, not really log in, but just navigate to your specific WordPress account. Tools over here are these additional tools that you have access to. So like import, export your data, export personal data, theme file editor, plugin editor. Then you have your settings down here. All right, so anyways, so we just used an auto generation process. So let's click over here for users and we'll go to all users. Now under all users, you have your username over here and the role over here. Now, first off, we can edit this. So we click on edit. And then the username is vloghow vc blah, blah, blah. So if that's, do we want to display that publicly as our name? So like when you read a blog post, like blog post written by person. Yeah, we want our name. So you can just type in your name right here. And then you can display the name as something else a little bit more logical. Then you have your email right here, the website, and then your biographical data information right there. So this is for your author bio that you often see on a blog at the very bottom of the blog post, like written by David, who's an expert at this thing and the other thing. Now you have a profile picture that you can assign. And the way this works is that you have to sign up to Gravatar, which is owned by WordPress. And you just create an account over here, totally free, very simple. And then whatever email you use gets automatically assigned. So for example, right up top here, the email for the contact info is this. When I signed up to Gravatar, I inputted that email with this picture. So these two things are connected. It's really that simple. And then down here, you have account management, the password. So you can set a new password and then there you go. Simple as that. if you want to do that, or if you just want to log into your DreamHost account and then just click on this button right there, you can do that as well. So it's really that simple. That's all you need to do. Now, one slight thing I do want to touch on is, let me open up a different web browser. So we'll navigate to vloghow.com/wp admin. That's all I typed in. Now this pops up over here. So this is your login section for your website. So if you don't want to log into DreamHost, you want to log in directly to your website, what you need to do is you need to take the account name that you want to log in with, which is right there. So that's the username or email, boom. Or you can put in your email, whatever email you're using for your account. So for me in this example would be this right there. Input that there and then input the password. So the password currently is auto-generated. So you can set a more logical password that you can remember right down here if you choose to. Essential settings for your website. So let's take care of a few quick things. So I just briefly covered how to change the password. Now, if we go back over here to users, I just want to inform you about how this actually works. If you click on add a new user, you navigate down here for the role. So if you want to bring on an external writer, like you want to hire someone to write blog posts for your site, you can create a separate account for them to log into your website. And so WordPress comes built in with subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. Administrator has full control over the website. Editor can edit everything underneath them, like they can edit an author, piece of content, contributor, and so forth. Author can edit their own content, and contributors can only edit their own content. You can read up on this on your own time, but that's what you can do over here if you want to bring on a writer. So if you want to bring on someone, you can just make them an author, then give them an account on your site. Now, next, I want to navigate over here to plugins. We'll click on Not Now, and we have a few different plugins installed. So we have Akismet over here. So if you're going to have comments on your site, then you do want to keep Akismet. If you're not going to have comments, then you don't really need this. So I'll click on Delete. We have Hello Dolly, literally does nothing. Just literally just posts quotes in your dashboard. We don't need that at all. We have Super Cache from the installation process. Now, one plugin I really definitely strongly suggest you install is Rank Math. So when we type over here, Rank Math, there's a wide range of SEO plugins that you can use, but I personally like Rank Math. So let's go ahead and click on install. What Rank Math does is just allows you to have a little bit more control over the on-page SEO of your site. So let's go ahead and click on activate. And we're going to skip this for now. And I'm going to navigate down here and click on this right there, return to dashboard. All right, so now this is Rank Math over here. You have a bunch of different options. So if you want to navigate back to the setup wizard, you can always click on this and away you go if you want to do that on your own time. So what I really care about over here are just a few things. So we want to click on general settings. Okay, so the first thing over here is strip category base. I definitely don't suggest doing this. So what that does is just let me open up this over here, my personal blog. We'll click on categories. We'll click on web hosting. See how it says category/web hosting? What this does is that it strips the category out of the URL. And personally, you don't want to do that because the category page is a page. It's separate from a blog. This is not a blog post. So it makes sense for it to have a unique URL that's a little bit more identifiable about what this piece of content is. That's why it's not selected. But if you really want to strip the category base, you can do it, but I definitely don't recommend it. Then you have breadcrumbs over here. Breadcrumbs allow you to add that in, which is breadcrumbs are, let me open up this over here. Breadcrumbs are this at the very top right there. So author, date, that type of thing. So if your theme that you choose doesn't have breadcrumbs, you can just enable breadcrumb functionality. And then once you enable it, then you can just copy and paste in a piece of code within your site. You have Webmaster Tools over there, so you can add in Google Search Console, you can edit the robot text, and a bunch of other things. So not really too much detailed stuff to get into for a beginner, so just leave it there. Titles and meta are important. So you have your titles and meta. The thing that you want to adjust is the homepage. So the homepage over here is the title of the homepage. So for example, we navigate back to my site, and if I navigate up top there, it says my name, page separator, what the site's about. this is where you set that. So it's like name of website. So it's a vlog how page separator, vlogging advice and guides. There we go. And then a homepage meta description. So meta description is just describe what the site's about for both humans and search engines and make it keyword rich, but just really just descriptive about what is your site about. And that's all you have to input right there. And then make sure to click on save changes down there. Next, you have your site map settings. So actually, let me just go ahead and click on save. That's your site map over here. Your site map is very useful. So you want to take that and you want to input that into Google Search Console. So Google Search Console is over here, Google Search Console. And if you open up this right there, you can click on Start Now and it'll open up Google Search Console. You can add in your website. And then once you add in your website, there's an area where you can add in a site map. So a quick example is I'm logged into Search Console for my own sites over here. So we have the name of the website and then enter sitemap URL, which is sitemap, then index.xml. Where do you get that? Literally right here. So you can just input that into your Search Console. Now, why do you want to do this? The reason you want to set up Search Console is because one, this gives you information about how your website is performing, what pieces of content, specifically pages, are getting traffic, and what keywords are people finding your website from. So it's important. It's not something you have to do right now, but you do want to just pay attention to this at some point, maybe next week after you've created like 10 pieces of content and so forth. Okay, so let's navigate back over here to plugins, and then to add in additional plugins, just click on add a new plugin, and then either A, you can search for what you're looking for, or B, if you know what plugin you're looking for, you can just manually type it in there. And plugins just add on additional functionality to your website. So a good example is that one of my favorite plugins is called Stackable. And what Stackable does, it adds on additional blocks to your page builder within WordPress. So when you're writing a piece of content within your blog post section or your page section, this adds in additional blocks. So there we go. I can just click over here to install this and then click on activate. And then you've successfully added this plugin to your website. Now you should keep plugins to a minimum. You don't want to overdo it, and because too many plugins does slow down your website. And so that's really it. So let's click over here one more time back to plugins, and let's go over here to add new plugin. And then we want to click on upload plugin. Now you're like, why would I do that? Why don't I just add it down here? Well, some plugins are premium that you can buy from like a marketplace. If you do that, then you have to manually upload the plugin to your site. So a good example of that is the plugin called Link Whisper over here, which is an internal linking plugin. It's a premium plugin, but in order to get access to it, you have to buy it, then download it, then upload it to your website. And to upload it to your website, just click on browse. Then when you have the file on your computer, just upload it and click on install, and it should work right out of the box. Adjusting the look and feel of your website. So if we want to take a look at our website, we just open up this in a new tab, and boom, here is our website and the way it currently looks. Now, to change the appearance, you click over here for appearance and you navigate to themes. Now we have the 2024, 3, and 2022 themes. So I have tutorials on these themes. You want to learn how to design your website. That's outside the scope of this video, but you can either select one of these themes and design your website, or you can click over here to add on a new theme of your choosing. And over here, I definitely suggest clicking on the popular icon right there, then selecting one of these free themes to design your website with. And if you do choose to like buy a premium theme from a marketplace or a theme creator, you are going to have to upload the theme manually to your site. And so you do that over here. You click on upload theme. Then once you download the theme file to your computer, then you can browse it and install it directly onto your website. And finally, over here, we have the editor feature. So the editor feature, depending on the theme, opens up the full site editor. So if you have a theme that takes advantage of the full site editor, this is what's going to appear over here. So your navigation styles, pages, and this is how you design your website with WordPress. So let me back out of this and go back to the dashboard. If you want to navigate to the HTML and PHP files for the theme, to access that, you navigate over here to Tools, and then you click on Theme File Editor over here. Now it's going to give you a quick little warning being like, hey, this is the code. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, then leave. But if you know what you're doing and you want to adjust things, then boom, here you go. So the theme I currently have selected is the 2024 theme, and I can edit and adjust the CSS and these different PHP files directly in this file editor. And finally, I just want to briefly show you how to create content with your website. So let's click over here for posts and open up a blog post. We have a default blog post over here. To add in a new post, we just click on the Add New Post button right there. And let's click X to get away from this. And here we go. So we have our title. This is your H1 title tag. So title of blog, of the blog post, whatever, title of blog. Then you have your block builder. So you can begin writing content right here, writing as you want. You can click on this little plus sign. I like to click over here to browse all. And over here you have blocks. So these purplish pink blocks are from Stackable. So that's why WordPress is really fun, because you have a ton of different plugins that add on additional functionality, including blocks. So that's why I like Stackable, because it adds on a lot of useful blocks, like the column block over here, or the card, or the featured image block. So I just really like it, but you can explore this on your own time. You also have access to patterns over here. So for example, like a call to action pattern over there, I can click on this one and it automatically loads this up right there, making creating a website very quick and easy. Now, if I want to move the writing down here, I can just click on the little arrow, move things down, and really that simple. Then that's it. That's how you create content. So in general, if you take a look at a blog post, the way things should be structured, let me open up this one, is you have your H1 title tag at the top. So you don't have to do anything because you have that right there. But then you want to have like a text paragraph, and then just break it up with H2 and H3 title tag. So it's like an H3 title tag, H2 title tag, content, and so forth. And that's how you can design your site. Now you see over here, we have the post and the block. And so you have a bunch of different options you do need to pay attention to. So first off, the URL is vloghow.com/p=7. That is an awful URL. So let me click over here, open this in a new tab. And we want to navigate over here to settings. Then you want to click on permalinks. Now with permalinks, this is where you can change the URL structure for your blog posts. Now I personally use, if you take a look at my own website, I just use post name. So it depends on how big your website is going to be. So if you're going to be like 1,000 blog posts, then post name is fine. But if you're going to be like 5,000 blog posts, if you think you're going to get like 2,000, whatever, then you may want to consider using something like website.com/category/post name. Totally up to you, because that helps structure everything a little bit better. Anyways, I'm going to leave it as post name. Let's click on save changes over there. And there we go. So that's how you change the permalink structure. So I definitely recommend post name or blog/post name or category/post name. The worst one is dates. Dates are awful. p=123 is also a very bad URL. So anyways, let me reload this. Actually, I'll just click on save draft. And yeah, there we go. So now it automatically changed the title. There you go. So now we have the title correctly over there. So we can minimize that. This is where you create your categories. Categories should be relevant to what your website's about. Things like thoughts and uncategorized are not categories. Those are bad. So if, again, we take a look at my own site. Let's open up this. We go to the categories. It's blogging, domain names, email, monetization, web hosting. Like, categories are things that are what your website is about. So you want to put one blog post in one category, not multiple categories. If you want to have multiple things, then you could do that with tags over here. Now, like I said in the earlier part of the video, tags are just like more niche specific. So again, if it's like houses or travel, and then tag would be Thailand or something like that. Anyways, featured image. This is where you can add in a feature image. What's a feature image? When you're on a blog and you see this kind of image right there, how do you do that? That's the feature image right there. Then you have an excerpt. This is what the piece of content is about. What that does, it helps populate this little area right there underneath the title. Then you have discussions. So discussions allow you to allow comments. So if you're like, I don't want comments, you can just turn it off right here. And finally, if we navigate up top here, we click on this button that's from Rank Math. Then we click over here to edit the snippet. And this snippet means like this is how the website's going to look, or this piece of content, this individual blog post is going to look if it gets indexed. And so with a blog post, typically you want the title of the blog post, then page separator, and then the site name. And if the title of the blog post is a little bit long, then you can just drop the site name. Then you have the permalink structure. And then your meta description. This describes what the blog post is about to people and search engines. So this is important to input right there. And this is why we installed Rank Math, so we have control over this. And that's really it. That's all you need to know for getting started with blogging. And finally, to finish up this tutorial video, I just want to briefly show you how to create a professional email with your DreamHost account. Now, this is not a substitute for dedicated email hosting. If like you're a business and you're going to be emailing and sending files and interacting with a lot of like companies and whatever, then you do want to get dedicated email hosting. But this is a nice stopgap until you get to that point. Now, if you're just an individual and you just want to have a professional email like hello@mywebsite.com, this is perfect. So click over here for mail, click over here for manage email. And then all we have to do is click on create email, then select the domain name. And then we have fully hosted email, then type in the email address that we want. So I'll just type in hello, and then we'll click on continue, then mailbox name. I'll just call this hello. Then we have password. So generate a password over there. Then we'll click on create email. Now you can take a look at the password. I do suggest doing that so you know how to log into your own account. But you can access your email from your DreamHost dashboard. Anyways, let's click on create email, and it's generating the fully hosted email for us. And there we go. So that's it. So to log into your email is super simple. Each time, log into your DreamHost account, click on mail, manage email, then click on the little envelope symbol right there. Then you have to input your username and password that you just created for the email. And then this is what your inbox looks like over here in DreamHost. Anyways, that is it for this tutorial. All right, everyone, that's it for this tutorial video on how to create a WordPress powered website using DreamHost. Overall, I really like DreamHost. I'm pretty impressed with their service overall. I do like their control panel where it's very beginner friendly, but they do provide enough access if you're a little bit more experienced and know what you're doing. I also like that they give a free domain name for the first year with purchase of a shared hosting account. And on top of that, the renewal rates are pretty reasonable and you get free whois protection. Anyways, I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and hit that like button. My name is David. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.